You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Comics with My Kids, the official podcast for the comicscornerbox.blogspot.com, where you can get reviews of comics for the whole family. I'm your host, Matt D, and with me today is...
Logan D.
Alright, and today's episode, we are talking about a classic character, but we're going to talk about a new take on that character. We are talking about the series Hulk by Donny Cates and Ryan Ottley.
And Frank Martin.
Yep, and Frank Martin. And this issue 1, it was released in November of 2021. And it has a legacy numbering of 768 as Bruce Banner takes center stage of the Hulk. All right, Logan, you want to tell us a little bit about what you know about the Hulk?
From what I've read about this book, or from what I know before this book?
Before the book.
Okay. I knew that Bruce Banner was a scientist who was working in his lab, and then he did something wrong. I don't know the exacts. And wait, let me think. He got radioactive stuff in him, I think it was.
There was a giant gamma bomb that blew up. Remember? And he became a creature of immense strength and anger. And what makes him strong?
His anger. You said that.
Well, yeah. I just said he was a creature of immense anger. You know that the Hulk is a beast. You know that Banner's the scientist inside of him. What do you like about the Hulk before we jump into this book?
Well, one of the things I like about the Hulk is his immense strength. And it's like unlimited, because you could push Hulk's anger to the max, and then he's going to be like super strong.
All right, well, let's go ahead and dive into the book then. What is so different about this series of the Hulk?
That that Hulk is wearing glasses so that he thinks he's in this world that he's not, and Bruce Banner's controlling it from inside the Hulk.
Okay. What is the Hulk mainly doing in this first issue?
The Hulk is trying to get out of this like weird area. At least this is what he thinks is going on. He's trying to break out of this weird area, and then he's getting attacked.
Right, because, like you said, Bruce Banner's in control of the body of the Hulk, and he managed to separate his two different identities. And the Hulk is in what Bruce Banner is referring to as the engine room, and his rage is what controls the Hulk's movement, whereas Bruce Banner is controlling where the Hulk goes. And we get cuts in between inside the Hulk's mind where Bruce Banner's in control, and it looks very much like a starship. And then there's parts of the book where you see the Hulk battling like armies and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then we cut to the outside world where the Hulk has got this, as you said, glasses, like this little headgear on, and he's trying to get somewhere. Do you know what that place is that he's trying to get to?
Yeah, he's trying to get to a, like, universal teleporting thing.
Right, because in a previous story, as part of the whole Marvel continuity, Tony Stark was able to fly one of the Celestials during this big crossover event. And if you don't remember what a Celestial is, Logan, remember when we watched
Eternals.
The Eternals? Yes, the Celestials was that giant guy
Who was trying to break out of the Earth?
Yep, yeah, that's a Celestial. So Tony Stark ends up creating this teleporter that's just a giant Celestial Iron Man costume. And Bruce Banner wants to take the Hulk through the teleportation field to go to a pocket universe. Do you remember pocket universes? Know what that is, Logan?
Yeah, weren't they taken to a pocket universe in Oh, what's it called? Well, where a bunch of realities got all mashed into one.
Yeah, that's a pocket universe. Pocket universe is basically another universe that kind of sits alongside our current universe, or in this case, the main story's current universe.
What if?
Yes, kind of like What If. So the Hulk ends up having to fight Tony Stark because Tony Stark doesn't want the Hulk going through the door to the pocket universe because he's like, well, we haven't done all the math. You don't know if you're going to survive. And of course, at the end of the book, we see that Bruce Banner has managed to take the Hulk through the barrier and is gone into this pocket universe.
It's in the next book.
And so then the next book we'll pick up after that. But before we get into the next book, what do you think of this artwork, though, for issue 1?
That it's, well, red.
Yeah, I say it looks pretty gruesome. I mean, the guy drawing it, Ryan Ottley, he was known for doing another book called Invincible, and in the Invincible book, it's a very cartoon style, like clean lines like this is drawn here, very colorful, but there's a lot of like death and a lot of people getting like blown up.
Yeah, and I don't know what's creepier. This face right here.
Can you describe the face to our readers?
The Bruce Banner face where his eyes are bleeding, and his nose is bleeding, and his mouth is bleeding, or a while back in the not real universe, where'd it go?
Can you describe it? What was the scene?
Yeah, it was like this little. It was like the Hulk blowing up a bunch of things. Oh, there it is. The Hulk's like destroying a bunch of things, and then there's this like little head falling down.
Oh yeah, he severs the head. So it's definitely the comic is definitely not for the faint of heart. I mean, heck, there's a whole scene right here where in the outside world, as the Hulk is fighting Tony Stark in his Hulkbuster Iron Man suit, the Hulk arm gets pinned down by some kind of like nanite virus thing. And the Hulk literally rips his arm off in order to keep fighting. And then he grabs Tony Stark's Iron Man suit and he grabs his hand and like puts it on his own stump so that he has a fist for himself. And then in the time it takes for him to fight, he manages to get so angry that the Hulk grows back his arm after punching through Tony Stark's metal arm there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty gruesome. I mean, it's taking the Hulk to like the next level as far as violence and gore.
Yeah, and even there, he's covered in his own blood.
Yeah, it's a very bloody book. So I mean, if you're not if you're faint of heart or you don't want your kids to see a lot of blood and guts and gore, then you probably don't want to pick up the Hulk by this new version of the Hulk.
Yeah, but it's better than the older version. Happy Hulk.
Issue 1 ends with the Hulk going into the Pocket Universe. Issue 2 picks up right after that, where we go into the Pocket Universe. We get a nice little recap page. Logan, did you want to go ahead and read us the recap from book 1?
Bruce Banner has somehow managed to split the Hulk into 3 distant parts. The Hulk's body has been turned into a starship. Banner's psyche pilots it from within the Hulk's mind, and the Hulk's psyche fuels the starship with his anger, which Banner harnesses by locking the Hulk in the engine room and sending escalating levels of opponents for him to fight. With the world blaming Hulk for a mysterious, deadly incident in El Paso, Banner pilots the starship Hulk through a portal to an unstable pocket dimension, warning the heroes of an Earth he's leaving because none of them will know how to deal with what he's going to become.
And then it's called Smashtronaut, which is, kind of a neat little play on astronaut.
And snot.
And smash. So they in the recap they mentioned the El Paso thing, and we kind of skimmed over it. But yeah, there's a whole panel in the first book.
I don't even know.
Or a whole page in the first book where you see all the superheroes talking about some incident in El Paso. So I'm hoping that as we read the story, we learn a little more about what happened in El Paso.
Oh, I thought you knew about what happened in El Paso.
No. So we open up and
We see a Boba Fett word search.
that's the ad. The other page. You see some superheroes in this pocket dimension that wants to stop the Hulk. And there seems to be a very elderly-looking superhero that's talking to the Hulk. And, of course, as soon as we get into the Pocket Universe, we find that Banner kind of fell asleep at the wheel, and the Hulk body is just kind of flying through space, and he smashes right through the superheroes. Again, Ryan Ottley with his crazy... It's pretty gruesome.
Yeah, and at this point, he's like going so fast, I'm not too sure what... At first, I wasn't too sure whether it was still the Green Hulk or he got turned into the Red Hulk.
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome. Then, of course, Banner wakes up, and he's like, oh, crap. He sees what's going on. Somehow, the Hulk gets wrapped up in some kind of weird cosmic entanglement device. And so it's sucking the radiation out of the Hulk. And Banner has to do some quick thinking. So he, of course, takes his power device inside of his starship to the next level. And the next level means that the engine room where the Hulk psyche is at battling has to fight something new. And, of course, he has a bunch of monsters that he has to fight. And
Ginormous monsters.
Yeah, giant monsters. So we got Thing Fang Foom. We got a couple other monsters I can't recognize. And the Hulk basically grabs this lead pipe, says, Banner! And then he goes after these monsters for another crazy battle. So then what happens, Logan?
And then that strength is not enough to defeat the weird ball. And so he takes it up another notch to stage 3, right after the Hulk blows through this giant green monster. Then comes by this giant-sized Wolverine, which is even bigger than the monster.
You know what's funny about that is that not only is Wolverine constantly fighting the Hulk, because Wolverine first appeared in Incredible Hulk 181, but it's effectively a giant-sized Wolverine. And if you're familiar with your X-Men history, like one of the first X-Men books that Wolverine shows up in is giant-sized X-Men. So it's kind of a neat little play on words there. So now the Hulk, who's like very small, has to fight this giant-sized Wolverine.
Yeah, and then a gruesome part comes where Hulk smashes him in the cheek and his eye flies out.
Yeah.
And the eye is like still there, just hanging on barely.
And then what does the Hulk do?
Then the Hulk gets himself cut by one of Wolverine's three metal things, then pulls it out of him. And then he takes that and impales the giant-sized Wolverine.
Meanwhile, Banner is in his mind palace, controlling the Hulk's body, and somehow the Hulk can't break free, no matter how much power he gets pumped into him.
Yeah, and then the headgear breaks.
Yep. And of course, the Hulk in the outside world gets sucked into this portal, and he winds up in this room somewhere else inside this pocket dimension. And we don't want to spoil the end of this because it's for the readers to find out what happens next. But it is kind of neat that this entire issue is just one giant battle inside the Hulk's mind. So without spoiling the end, we're gonna put a little pin in that there. And Logan, what do you think?
Hold on, I gotta look at your push pins.
What do you think of this? These first 2 issues of the Hulk?
Well, first of all, I think it's kind of bloody.
Okay.
And I also think that this is going to be an interesting series to come. Because I have, seen a TV series and read a book where they were in different dimensions. But this seems like new. By the way, this is heading.
So what do you think of Banner being in control of the Hulk?
I think it's weird, and Banner now seems like kind of like a bad guy.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of interesting to see that they're doing a different take on Bruce Banner and his relationship with the Hulk. So you looking forward to issue 3 when it comes out?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, buddy. Well, is there anything else you want to mention about this particular book?
Well, there's something I really want to mention, but I can't.
What's that?
I can't. It'll spoil the end.
Oh, okay. You don't want to mention anything about the end? Well, you can tell me afterwards then. Again, this has been The Hulk, issues 1 and 2 by Donny Cates, Ryan Ottley, and Frank Martin. But yeah, that's about all we have for this evening. So I want to thank you for listening to Comics with My Kids. I'm Matt D.
And I'm Logan D.
Again, if you've enjoyed this review, check out our website at thecomicscornerbox.blogspot.com or our Facebook page, or check us out on Twitter at 60s Reboot /comicscornerbox.blogspot.com. The Comics Corner Box. Yeah, I gotta fix that. I gotta separate those two. Thank you for listening, and have a nice night. Oh, I also forgot to mention that this February 12th, is the Northwest Indiana Comic Con. Come check it out. Logan and I will be there, along with Melody. And we're going to check out some of the latest creators that will be there, like Art Balthazar and Tim Seeley. If you want to check it out and come say hi to us, we'll be there. Thanks a lot. This end. All right. Hey, can you talk on the microphone, please?
This microphone? Or this microphone?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Talking.
Okay, you're good.
Baby shark,
I got
baby
plenty of that.
shark, baby
All right.
shark, baby shark.
Done?
Mommy
Please.
shark,
Please.
I
No.
didn't even finish the song.